All right, so now that I got my shifter mounted in here, I did a little bit of testing and I actually found out that my torque converter solenoid is shorted out internally. So I will have to be replacing that later. However, I can still show you everything else. This was my original switchboard, and this design was pretty simple to use. I had a ground ran through, and then I had my A solenoid jumped over to a post on my 3-position switch, and then I had it run into my B solenoid on the other post, and then I had my A solenoid on its own 2-post switch. So before I was alternating between this switch and this switch, and I didn't want to do that anymore. At least for first and second, just seemed kind of stupid to be jumping between this and then to get to third being on this. I figured overdrive would be easier to turn on and off. So I made this, and right now it'd be in the first gear position. I'm gonna go start my... All right. So right now I put it in drive on the column. I take off and it's in first gear. Second gear. First. It's in third, going 40 miles an hour. And before this, I bought one of those NCR 60E whatever transmission controllers. You plug it in, you wire up 4 wires, it's power, ground, and then your automatic torque converter solenoid on and off versus your manual torque converter solenoid on and off. That might have been what caused my issue with my torque converter solenoid pooping out. I don't know otherwise how it happened, because this transmission came fresh from a notable rebuilder here in Wisconsin. He lives in Mondovi. If you ever get the chance, Best Transmissions. He's a really good guy. Every single transmission I ever got from him has worked so far. The only time it didn't is when I put that NCR 60E controller in. The reason I initially did that manual controller versus just running it on the wiring harness that comes with the automatic, plugs into the computer, and then you can just plug it in and the computer does all your shifting, is because I actually bought a manual computer with intentional plans of putting my Turbo 400 from my M1009 Blazer into this. But that fell through. The rebuild actually would have been cheaper, but I just didn't want to go without overdrive for the moment. I wanted to use the transmission I had already put in this. I knew if I pulled it out that I'd just throw it away. So what I did was I got the transmission and the transfer case resealed, all new seals, new clutches in the transmission, and a 2500 stall torque converter, so that way I could launch this thing. I also had a Chupacabra cam, but in recent events, due to the economy, I've had to sell a lot of stuff just to kind of get by. This cost 20 bucks, and then some wiring and some ends to put it all together. I used Wagos, and it's a pretty simple deal. So now I'm coming to a stop, put it in second, put it in first. 70. I couldn't even do that before. But it holds gear pretty good. I'm gonna put it in fourth now. So I went into fourth. So far this has just been awesome. I am ecstatic. I've been waiting to get this truck on the road for quite some time. Those that followed me and those that know me have known I've had this for a good while. The engine came from a 2005 GMC that me and my buddy Kevin went down to Iowa to go get. We drove all the way from Eau Claire, Wisconsin, Menominee, Wisconsin to Iowa, and then all the way back to Eau Claire. I got the engine out and put it on a concrete block with a tarp over it, and I'd sat out the elements for God, probably like 2.5 years. I want to say since 2023. It's only been 2 years then. I put the engine in since last year, and then I had a hard time getting the transmission to go, I guess, since then. So I'm going to figure out where I can turn around up here. First, turn it around. Tuned for the exhaust setup I have.
Here's just a quick look at the exhaust. We got duals that run into a single, and then they run back into duals.
I'll put that in the video so I can show what that looks like too. I have yet to take you guys on a test drive in my M1009 Blazer with a 5-speed manual transmission. That thing's pretty cool. Haven't had this truck in so long, and now it just runs with a fucking 12-volt power wheel shifter. Who would have thought? By the end of this video, I will have a link in the description for this shifter, and I'm also going to be drawing up a wiring diagram for how to wire up the shifter just like mine. And then hopefully somebody will have some luck with it. Another guy commented about having it for a burnout truck and a demo derby truck. I'd like to see this thing do a burnout. For the moment, I'm just going to wait a little bit. Winter's coming up anyway, so we're definitely going to be sliding this around and just seeing how it can handle when I just drop it in gear without letting off. We're going to be letting it do some wide open throttle shifts and